for Friday the 11th of April. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Microsoft has released a patch for a patch. There is an urgent update for Office 2016 that addresses a critical issue that is caused by the Patch Tuesday patches. It's caused by KB 5002700 to be specific. So the new update is KB 5002623. It was released yesterday and contains important fixes. So if you're using Office 2016, have a look. Updates are required. There is a vulnerability in the Jenkins Docker environment that allows attackers to gain control of various components around environments. So the issue is fundamentally that when now let me get the wording of this right. All containers that are being built from the same image version share identical SSH host keys. It's a vulnerability based around the way that Debian-based Jenkins SSH agents and Jenkins SSH slave Docker images are created. It's not actually from an architecture perspective, it's not a unique problem to Jenkins. If you are using an image to create individual instances, this is a long-standing challenge. You need to remove and recreate all of the identifiers for that image. Otherwise, you end up with perfect clones. Well, if perfect clones will contain, the same identifiers, but they'll also contain, all the same keys and certificates and so on and so forth, because they are just a clone of the original image. So there is normally some form of sanitization process that runs after an image has been created, or probably these days, I don't know, it's been a while since I've done this. I would suspect that by now that these things are sanitized and the secrets, keys, and everything else, unique identifiers, are recreated in real time. Don't know, somebody who does more of this stuff than me would know the answer to that. However, this is an issue where SSH keys weren't being rotated when Docker images were being created. So there has been a release of an updated agent, so version 6.11.2, which addresses the issue by deleting pre-generated SSH host keys during image creation. So if you are using Jenkins in a Debian environment in order to create Docker images, be aware of this. It's worth a read. Jenkins being very commonly used for orchestration of and is part of orchestration and automation of various activities, is something that a lot of organizations may well be using. So I would suggest have a quick read of this if you're using Docker and you're using Jenkins in order to create Docker containers. There is a vulnerability in the Otto WordPress plugin that is under active exploitation. So the Otto kit, which formerly known as Shore Triggers, has a vulnerability in its authentication system, allowing for authentication bypass and permits administrative account creation. It's basically due to a missing empty value check on a secret key value. It is vulnerability is found in all versions up to and including 1.0.78. So if you are using AutoKit or otherwise known as, or formerly known as, Sure Triggers, make sure that you have updated to version 1.0.79, which addresses the issue. There are over 100,000 active installations that are that are known. Probably that'll be a minimum number, I would guess. It is under attack at the moment. The patch, the updated version has been available since April the 3rd. So hopefully by now, most systems will have caught up and updated. As always with WordPress, just dip into your admin console and make sure that all the updates you're expecting to have applied have actually applied. It is notorious for my experience for sitting there saying, oh yeah, you need to patch this, even though you said apply patches automatically. Just occasionally it needs a nudge. And then finally from me today, there is a new attack against Ivanti VPN solutions. So a Chinese group, or a group was suspected to be linked to a Chinese cyber espionage group, has been attacking Ivanti VPN solutions. The CVE, or vulnerability that is being targeted, is 2025-22457, and it appears that various Ivanti products are vulnerable to this particular attacks. So again, if you are using Ivanti solutions, I would recommend that you have a look at this. I'm not going to read out the list of things that might be vulnerable. It's not unmanageably large, but there are too many to be interesting to read out in a podcast. It allows for, it's an exploited stack-based buffer overflow vulnerability that's being used to deploy malicious code from the Spawn malware ecosystem. It is suspected to be part of state-sponsored activity. So if you're using Ivanti VPN, the Ivanti VPN solution, definitely have a look at this. There are links out to what you need to do about it. So yeah, keep your eye out for that one. Right, that's all from me for today and for this week. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll speak to you all again on Monday morning.